Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys can hear me well. My podcast is, I was waiting for my podcast. I was just filming my podcast. Yes, guys, it is going to be the topic of intermittent. I can't say it still. I couldn't say it then, can't say it now. Intermittent fasting and my experience with it and reasons why I stopped. And I'm glad I stopped. In the podcast, the reason I wanted to do a video corresponding to the podcast is because I feel like a lot of you watch my videos more. But if you really want to hear the full story, like all the details, a podcast is a perfect place for me to put that because I could film like a 30-minute audio and easily put it out, and it's over there and you could listen in the car, on your walk, in the background, versus me doing a video with 30-minute video, which is a lot harder to post and just like edit and all that, even though I probably won't even edit this, but I like to keep my videos 10 to 15 minutes, and podcasts I would probably do 30 minutes to an hour, sometimes less or more. They're all going to be dependent on how much I have to say, but I don't really have a time limit there, which is really awesome and why I want to start doing more on my podcast. But anyways, let me get back into the topic. So in the podcast, I mentioned my whole story, which I'm not going to mention here just because it's a really long story and I already said it all. But I really recommend you listening to that if you're struggling with fasting and knowing whether you should do it or not, with the background of eating disorders, or if it's making your eating disordered, or you're realizing you're binging and craving processed foods and you're feeling good when you're doing the fast, and then you realize you are somewhere deep into your cookies and cakes, at night. So with that, I hope that it would help you. But reasons I personally stopped fasting was, and if you notice these, you could relate and maybe see that maybe fasting isn't for you. Also, I know the camera angle's weird. I'm filming on my phone. It's that kind of day today. Anyways, so if you're noticing that you are constant, like reasons, okay, let me talk about me, okay? Let me talk about reasons I stopped fasting, and then you could relate and see if this is also you. But for me, with a person of background eating, background of disordered eating disorders, all that, you guys know, it really messed me up. And I'll tell you, like, it makes you constantly think about food. Like right now I'm practicing more intuitive eating, and I notice like sometimes I can go till like 1 or 2 o'clock without being hungry, and I don't eat, and it's like I'm naturally fasting, versus intermittent fasting when I had my rules of I eat like at 12 and then I eat at 5. I'm constantly thinking like what I'm gonna eat, make sure this is right, make sure it will fill me up. I don't want to be hungry, because you don't want to be hungry. Like you're naturally not want to, your body wants to survive. It doesn't want to be hungry. So I'm thinking of things I could fill up my time with, fill up like with water, not because I'm thirsty, but just because to fill it up. And I feel like fine like the first 2 days. And I'm also a person who loves like lower calorie food, not lower calorie foods on purpose, but like, things like watermelon and salads. Like I love it, especially in the summertime. Like come on, like I love it. And sometimes I enjoy other things as well, but I just feel really good when I eat those kind of foods. But with intermittent fasting, I noticed like I can't just, like if I like watermelon, if I eat that for my first meal, how much watermelon could I eat? Like 500 calories of it? Or like half a watermelon. Okay. And then my second meal, if I choose to have a salad, I'll have to have a really like large salad just to fill up on all that, like make sure I put like, I would think make sure I put enough fats and make sure I put up this and to make it filling so I'm not hungry. And then I wouldn't feel good, and then I would put so much fats, my skin would break out. Actually, my skin was worse I didn't mention this in my podcast, but my skin was a lot worse when I was intermittent fasting, especially one, because I was adding more fats, because I was craving the more calorie dense foods. When you fast, you do just crave that. And two, I noticed that, I was binging more, so it was obviously not making my skin good and making my weight really like fluctuate a lot. With intuitive eating, I feel like my weight is more stable. Like even if I'm losing or gaining weight with intuitive eating, it's like a nice and I'm not talking about people, there's like so many different scenarios, it's hard to tell everyone how it would be like. So like if you're coming from a background of extreme hunger where you've been restricting for really long, intuitive eating is gonna be really hard. You have to, it's a slow process, and that's what I mentioned in my podcast, like the slow process of me going from one meal a day to intuitive eating. It took a year, okay guys, it takes a really long time, and in my podcast I share how I did that, like step by step, going from one meal to 2 meals, trying 3 meals, failing, going back, like trying to get into, like it was literally tuning. I felt the process of tuning my bodies. Like my body, not bodies, I don't know why I said that, like a guitar, literally felt that, like experienced it. In the process, it was not really fun. It did not feel like tuning. It felt like I'm failing the whole time, but I was not failing. I was learning. It was a learning process. So anyways, so I do want to say that it's not like, this might not imply to everybody. Maybe fasting like saved your life and you feel amazing even with a background like of an eating disorder. I heard a lot of like binge eaters, fasting has really helped, and they are able to, like, there's definitely people who are able, especially if they don't have a background of eating disorders, they are able to go back and be in tune with their be like more in tune fasting, I guess. Like they are not thinking about it like they have at 1 meal or 2 meals. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna eat it, I'm done, like it's just whatever, not interested. But with people with eating disorders, they're the black and white thinking, and then they have this like perfectionism, and then they have the strict rules and guidelines, and the rules just increase, and turns into a whole mess. But I also want to add that I intuitively eat on non-stimulating, foods. Oh, sorry, I have like an email that just popped up. Non-stimulating foods that are made by like, lots of processing and added like sugars and oils. I eat plant like foods, variety of like healthy. I want to be a healthy person. That's all I want to be, guys. Like this is all I've ever wanted to be. Like I've always wanted, since the 8th grade, I wanted to be the healthy person, and it took me into this extreme of anorexia and then binge eating and then fasting and so many things, but all I ever wanted to be was a healthy person. And I feel like with all these experience, I am getting there. Like I am slowly learning and taking, like it's not an easy process, yeah, obviously, but slowly I'm getting there, and slowly it's like a learning, but I feel like I'm getting there for real. Slowly but surely. And that's, so, me just be wanting to do that, I love my salads, love my veggies, and maybe fasting works better for people who do eat, meats and stuff, which that's not something I promote, but I'm not going to be judgmental. I'm never judgmental. I only lead by example. Like if, like that's always like my thing. I will never be like forceful. I can suggest people, and I could like, if somebody asks or is interested, I'll be like, okay, yeah, this is what I would change. But anyways, back to the reasons to stop fasting. So the thoughts of always food, and I did a little experiment after intuitive eating for like a month now. Not now, but like it's actually been more than that. But I mean, when I did like a month of intuitive eating with plant foods, I went back to trying 2 meals a day, and I woke up hungry in the middle of the night. I'm like, how did I used to do this? Like I'm definitely not doing this. Like tomorrow I'm having breakfast like as soon as I wake up because I'm really hungry. Like 2 meals does not work with the like calorie dilute foods I eat, because I love the, like the fibers and like fruits and having plenty of veggies and all of this, but they're so low in calories. You're gonna really have to stuff it up if you're eating only 2 meals or so, and what if you become more active? Like some days I'm more active, like 2 meals of like fruits and a salad is not gonna work for me, even if I'm like stuffing in the fruit. Like first of all, I'm not gonna feel good after being stuffed. Second of all, I still might be hungry. Like sometimes it's like that, sometimes I'll need like 2 meals of something like rice or, veggies and beans, for example, instead of fruits. And some days I feel like having just fruits all day. But with intermittent fasting, I couldn't really do that. I couldn't, just have 2 meals of fruits. Like, I would be starving. Like, sometimes I just want to snack on fruit throughout the day because it's like, I want to feel light and, it's summertime and blah, 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 so whatever. I don't know if I said this in my video, but I mentioned this did I mention this? That my skin was worse during, you might have to come listen. I don't want to repeat myself too much just in case, but in the podcast I mentioned a lot. I guess you're gonna have to listen to both to get all the details. But anyways, what else? I noticed that I'm not pushy with exercise during intuitive eating. Like, I'm intuitive with my body and my eating, versus with intermittent fasting, I kind of was like, oh, I have nothing to do. Which, okay, I will do a video. There's definitely benefits. There was benefits of, like, being more productive and having more time to do other things and things like that. There are benefits, like stopping late night eating. Like, that really, like, intermittent fasting taught me to stop the late night eating. Like, not to eat. Like, I feel better when I don't eat close to bed. Some people feel better when they eat right before bed, and that's totally fine. But for me, it's like, 7 o'clock. It's good because I go to bed at 9, okay? Not because I want to make sure that's clear. So it's like 2 hours before bed. But when I was in intermittent fasting, I was eating, like, last time at 5 or 6, which is like 5 hours before bed, and I was kind of getting hungry and cranky before bed, so I want to go to sleep faster so that it was all around. So, like, with intermittent fasting, it was all around food. It was all around trying not to be hungry. It was all around, like, constantly thinking about food. Not a best, experience for me. And so I just wanted to let you guys know and share my experience in case one of you guys are also, or not one or two, or in case some of you guys are struggling as well. Just know that it's going to be, if you have gone into the extreme fasting side of it and are trying to get back in tune, it's not going to be fast. I can tell you that right now. It's not going to be a fast process, and I recommend the small baby steps. Try to go from, if you're doing alternate day fasting, try to do on the day you usually fast, just add in one thing, like slowly add stuff on, like a smoothie, just that easy to digest. You'll feel like you're eating more, but you won't feel like where it's to the point where you're stuffed and you're feeling depressed, and then add the next week, add a meal, and then add this. Like, it took me a slow process. Like, I didn't feel good if like, your body doesn't like fast changes, and I'm a person of, like, I want fast results. I want to be like this now. Like, I have this in my head, I want it now. But no, it's not how it works, sadly. I wish it did, but slowly I had to, learn my way the hard way. But I knew I felt the best when I was intuitive eating. I knew that it was where I needed to get to. And I also stopped weighing myself, and that really helped me get back into intuitive eating, because when I was weighing myself, like, I felt like I had to get back to the intermittent fasting so that I could, because when you don't eat, all morning or so, you weigh less than in the evening. So that's when I would weigh myself, and it was like a whole weird strategy thing. And with eating disorders, that's the thing. They make these rules, you think of these guidelines that doesn't make sense to anyone else but you. In your head, it, like, totally makes sense. Like, yeah, this is the way to go, but normal eaters, not normal people, I wouldn't call them normal people, I'll just say normal eaters, because there's definitely people who don't struggle with this. Like, I know a lot of people. I'm, like, one of the only people, like, that really I know in my, like, circle that really struggles with this, which is really helpful, because if other people in your family or close ones or friends are struggling, you feel like sometimes it even motivates other people to, like, oh, since they're not, like, eating, I'm not gonna eat, or so whatever, or triggers them. So I feel like not having that, and they're all, like, intuitive eaters, like, everyone, really helps. And they're even intuitive eaters with, like, stimulating food. So I'm like, they're, like, expert intuitive eaters, because even intuitive eating, it's something to get to. Don't jump to it if you are used to fasting and stuff, because that's only going to make you fail. Like, literally, I failed so many times trying to go back to intuitive eating. It took me like a year. I'm telling you guys, it's not fast. but it was worth it, and I'm glad I took this step by step, and I really had to be forgiving and loving. And that's why I had a podcast last week of self-love, because that really was important in the process. Not doing things out of self-hate, but self-love, very important. So what else? See, that's the other thing. Like, I'm not thinking about the timing. Like, I used to even record videos and, like, okay, how many videos could I record to, like, until I can eat? That was my mindset. Now it's like, I'm not hungry, so I can record, like, how many videos I want to, and then do something else, and then wait until I'm hungry. Or if I'm hungry right away, you know, like, I was biking out yesterday, so I did, like, I was really active yesterday. I did, like, yoga, and then, like, walked, and then, because it's really nice weather right now. It's, like, getting springtime. It's, like, my favorite time. I don't have allergies to pollen or anything, but I'm, like, outside constantly. I bought even roller skates. Maybe I can film that process of me learning to roller skate. That's gonna be fun. Not roller skate, rollerblade. Sorry, guys. Rollerblade. It's just ways I want to keep... I like keeping active by doing fun things. Doing, like, certain, like, gym, you know, like, schedules, like, boring. Okay, anyways. Also, I apologize for this weird angle. It's kind of, I don't know if it will work, but hopefully you guys could hear everything. I'm not sure about my audio. It had some problems before, so I tested it and it seemed fine. But anyways, this video is getting really long, so I'm gonna go now. But if you want to hear my full story and just, like, the process, and I tried to include as much of that as possible in my podcast, and I'm about to publish it right now, so hope you guys will enjoy it. Bye!